Hey, hi, hello. It's the LaSala Show, episode 57. It is October 5th, 2023. My guest tonight is Mr. Maurice Williams. How say you, sir?
I'm good. Yo. Welcome to the welcome. Thank you for inviting me to the podcast, man.
Absolutely, man. New hire at work, and everybody fucking loves you, dude.
Oh, really?
So we had so many people come in and out. Like, there's a high turnover rate at the place that will not be named. But it's basically like everybody gets good vibes from you. You fucking handle your shit. And that's all anybody wants from a coworker, right?
That's a fact. That's me. That's how I do it from work life to social life. So everybody likes me. If they don't like me, it's because they're jealous or something like that. But
Right. So you grew up in New York.
yes, Far Rockaway, Queens. Shout out to Far Rock.
Okay. And then at what age did you move to New Orleans?
14. And that was in 2004. Spent like a year there. And then Hurricane Katrina hit.
Right.
And then I went to Houston. And then I stayed there for a couple years until I was like 17. And then I came to, I went to Baytown, Texas.
Okay.
Stayed there for like 6 months. And then I went to New Iberia.
Damn.
I was in Koto.
So you've been all over the goddamn United States.
48 states. Well, 42 states.
42. Damn. So how long you been with your girl?
2010.
Okay. So yeah, y'all on that
We met
shit.
at a club. The club
okay.
in Lafayette down here. And, we was talking for a while, and then we hit it off.
And you got 2 kids, a girl that's 6, a boy that's 8.
Yes, sir.
So what is your parenting style? Because just speaking for myself, I don't want to have kids, but that's kind of like just selfish of me.
It's selfish.
Yeah.
Cause most women, most people in general want to pass on their genes, or to pass on some information that they have lingering in their head. But my parenting is, I try to be fun, but you have to be firm because they need some kind of discipline. I could be more active, I guess you could say, when it comes to outside time, but it's so hot here. When we was in New York, we was outside every day.
Oh yeah.
When it's summertime's ending, so I was planning on being outside a lot more.
The whole thing, probably the number one thing I hate about Louisiana the most is the heat.
The heat and humidity.
I'm hot even whenever it's cold outside.
I can't wait for this fall weather. It's gonna be 60 on Saturday.
Yo, that's some good ass news, because also I think I look better dressed when I'm wearing jeans and a little
hoodie,
sweater or something.
Most people feel that because it makes you look slimmer, I guess, because you got more layers on, I guess.
And I mean, neither of us are fat, but it's still you can put on a little suit jacket and get fresh and everything.
My hoodie
but when
game
it's
is
hot,
up there.
it's dude, I gotta wear some fucking shorts and show off my skinny ass white legs,
And then you sweat, so you can't take a shower and then go out. Cause me, I'm already a sweater, so I could just be standing. I'm sweating.
Yeah.
And
yeah. The other night I had just taken a shower right before work, because I usually take one before work and then after work. But I was just standing there, and I wasn't really doing much strenuous activity at the time. But I look up, and I got fucking pit stains. It's just bullshit. The humidity really will fuck you up, and I don't know. Some people say that the humidity helps with your skin.
It does. Gives me
but
bumps.
Then also I've heard that it makes your skin more fucked up, and prone to pimples and shit.
Mm.
So
yeah,
I don't know. I use these little fucking makeup wipes that my
Yeah,
girl
my
gets.
my wife got those too.
Yeah, so it's just like
Everywhere.
I'm always just like,
Right, right.
but it's fucked up, man. Like New York is it's
The city that never sleeps. Best city in the world.
it is,
To a certain
and
extent. To a
yeah,
certain extent.
you just have to be rich to be poor there. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. But, New York City, it's more poor than rich, and everybody else is making it some kind of way. So, there's money out there, though. Minimum wage is like 15.
Oh yeah.
So, but rent for a one bedroom is 1,200. So,
Yeah, and it's like the size of this bedroom.
exactly. With a bathroom and a kitchen that's half this size. That's
Yeah.
a fact.
I've seen some shit where it's like they got a toilet in the kitchen, and it's like,
I won't be
man,
surprised.
what the fuck is this?
I won't be surprised. But they try to make whatever they can out of space.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of fucked up, but like I think I went there at the wrong time in my life. I moved there when I was 30, and I feel like I could have wreaked some more havoc if I would have moved there when I was 20.
Yeah, you would enjoy yourself a lot more. Because you're growing at 30. You're not in your 20s no more, so you're thinking a little more. You're more cautious on your moves, and so I understand why.
But I probably would have been dead if I would have moved there when I was 20, because I would have been all careless and risky
not
and
dead.
shit.
People mistake New York because back in the 90s, how everybody, the rappers and everything. Don't get me wrong, you could get robbed, you could get killed, you could get shot and everything, but it's more bullying in my opinion, than killing.
Right.
Because when I came from New York, there was killings, but it's people you don't know.
Right.
Well,
it's just random shit.
Random shit. And then I went to New Orleans. I was there like maybe 10 to 11 months before the hurricane hit, and 2 people that I was cool with got killed. And that was an eye-opener for me because it wasn't like that in the city where I was.
Right. Yeah, New York, you got a lot of people looking out for you. Like strangers, like just like you. I mean, I've seen like shit where somebody will drop their like debit card or something, and like somebody will be like, "Oh, hey, look, you dropped this." Like
you came across the right people, because it's scamming that goes on.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
New York,
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect or anything, but like
it's so much people, so you're gonna have different atmospheres. It's a big city.
And then once you get into a certain routine. Like, I remember getting off at the same time, hitting the subway, this certain station, and, like, seeing some of the same people.
Right.
So it's almost like a community, but
Right.
it's almost like if you want to just go out randomly on, like, a Saturday night, you don't know what's going to fucking happen.
That's a fact. It's so much tourists there. You could tell who's from the city or lived in the city for a while to a tourist,
Oh, yeah. And that's what I tried to not be, is a wide-eyed tourist, where I was like,
When you first got there, I bet you was. Because, the buildings and the skyline and just the history of New York, you got to open your eyes and take it in.
Oh, yeah.
And when I still go back, I still, like, damn, I don't remember this growing up. And it's so breathtaking because it's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
But it's a dirty city too.
Oh, dude, I lived in Bed-Stuy, Flatbush, and Brownsville. But then I would work in Tribeca.
Okay, yeah,
so
it's
I was getting both sides of it.
Right.
Where it was like I would run into like Chris Carter at Whole Foods. Or I would meet like one of the New York housewives,
right?
Right. Or I was teaching Leaf Shriver's kids how to play piano,
right?
And seeing Naomi Watts and like just like I'm name dropping all this shit, but like it really was like you would just run into people and
catch a
random,
go right over the water and you're in the trenches.
Yeah, and then you got people asking you for money or
right.
trying to scam you or some shit. So. I don't know. New York's a crazy place. I don't think I ever want to live there again unless it's like upstate.
Yeah, upstate's beautiful. It's all trees. And you know, 'cause New York City is small. It seems like it's big because so much traffic and excuse me, so much traffic and there's so much people, so it feels congested. But when you look at the map, it's tiny.
Oh yeah,
It's tiny compared to upstate. Upstate is the whole. When people talk about New York, I realize like when I go to like meet people that's not from New York, like in different states I've been, they always talk about upstate.
Right.
You know, and
like
of course
Syracuse
they talk,
and all that
you know,
shit.
because so much there, you know. So New York is it's only a small part of the city, but it runs the whole New York. You know, when you think about New York, you think about New York City.
The Manhattan and the Brooklyn side of it, and even Queens too. Like, don't even get me started on the Bronx, dude. I almost got robbed
Yeah,
in
I
the
don't fuck with
Bronx
too much.
by some fucking high school kids.
Yeah, Bronx is they out there. Them little gangs and Bloods and Crips. There's so much Bloods and Crips. They adapted it and they really think this is the home of it. Even though, you know, it's real Bloods and real Crips there, but I don't consider, if it ain't in California, I don't really consider it a real Blood and Crip, but they do.
Yeah, I heard like the far north you go in the Bronx, the better. Like South Bronx,
it gets to Westchester and gets to Mount Vernon. After Mount Vernon and everything, White Plains and everything.
Yeah, it starts to
nice.
get chill. Yeah. So, okay. You were 14 when you went to NOLA.
Shout out to the Ninth Ward.
What? Oh, so you lived in the Ninth Ward?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit, son. So, I don't know how much of a, like partier you are or whatever, but, like, what was the most threatened you were ever in New Orleans?
Like I say, I mean, I didn't say this yet, but, you know, I wasn't the nicest kid. I had a lot of bad influences. That's one of the main reasons I left New York, because my dad spoke so much of a good game, how he's going to get me straight, and this and this and that. So my mom said, I'm going to send you down there and get him straight. It wasn't the case. You know, I ran free.
Right.
Like, ran free. And I did stuff that I shouldn't be doing. I regret as I got older. It was some scary situations I was in from New Orleans to Houston to even out here, you know.
Would you consider yourself like a born again Christian, or like how has faith taken over your life and bringing kids into the world?
My faith is strong, but it's not strong with the like going to church wise.
Okay.
I do a lot of my own studying and my own history of it, and I don't know, you know.
So what do you think happens when we die?
I don't know. I want to say we go to
good
heaven
answer.
or we go to hell because that's what we've been taught, but nobody knows. And some nights I sit back and I think like, damn, this is kind of scary, you know. This is all we know, and then one day you're just gone. You might be reborn into another animal or into another person. Who knows? But I just know nobody knows. So,
what are your thoughts on aliens?
I think they're out there. It got to be. It got to be. I mean, it'll be immature thinking if you think we're the only beings in this whole universe
that is ever expanding.
Exactly.
And
it's like it's stupid thinking to think this not, you know, because if we're here, there got to be somebody else somewhere.
Right.
You know, we only could go so. We only got enough technology to go so far and to do so much studying. So, you know, right now we look at the planet. Oh, they're not habited. You can't live there because the ground's boiling hot or it's too much whatever there. But who knows? People adapt to everything.
Well, they're trying to colonize Mars. That's like the newest.
I won't go.
Yeah, like I'm, unless like I see like,
unless the world's
ending, thriving and shit.
Unless the world is ending and there's no more life here, that's the only reason I'll go. Other than that,
yeah,
It's not doesn't doesn't get my dick hard to go. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like all the billionaires, they have their own like secret plan of, you know, we sort of have a feeling of how far this planet can take us. So we're making backup plans.
Facts. Because
And
resources are running out.
yeah,
It's
and
just
global warming and all that shit, like all I give this earth maybe 10, 15 years, you
for
know,
what?
before some where it's like,
That's in our life. I didn't even think about it be affecting our life, but it might.
but like I would say like some parts of the world will be unlivable. Like
I
based
could see
on
that.
like, like just this summer alone,
I could see
you
that.
know, it was hot as fuck.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then if you think about like the coastlines of certain areas, like I think New Orleans could be underwater.
It's predicted to be on the water within 30 years.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not I'm not hating on anybody that's having kids right now, but that's where I go back to my selfish thing is like if I want to have kids, I want them to have the best life and I want them to be in a position to succeed and
Well, think of it like this: we all gotta die.
right,
So if it's the world's ending and we die, we die.
right,
Nothing we can do about it. But while they're here, while you're here, have fun with them, teach them, let them experience life, and that's how I
right.
see it. 'Cause nobody could control what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Yeah. So the reason I have like so
I know it's like a jungle in here.
describe to the audience that's just listening, what do you see with my setup here?
I see. It feels like I'm in Green Bay for one. For two, it feels like I like reptiles though. I actually have a leopard gecko.
Oh, okay.
And I got it for my kids, of course, but they don't play with it.
So you have to go buy crickets and shit?
Crickets. I like Dubai roaches. He likes those.
Ooh, fuck. Oh. Okay, so that's my one. I was traumatized as a kid with roaches. Like, I went to a sleepover one time, and I was sleeping on the couch, and I was just about to pass out, and then all of a sudden I felt like what felt like a feather go across my face, and like I jolted awake, and then I looked up at the back of the couch, and it was a roach. And
He's just trying to say hello.
ever since then, I was like, "Fuck roaches!" Like, and you know what? If they looked like ladybugs,
Right.
we probably wouldn't be afraid of them. But they look so fucking gross and brown.
But they
and
don't.
just
They
like,
don't do nothing to you.
Yeah, they can't bite you.
Yeah, they just a nuisance.
Yeah.
They're a part of life, I guess. I'd rather have. Well, would you rather have ants or roach infestation?
Oh, I could smash like 5 ants in a row.
Talking about how you see roaches in houses, ants are there.
Yeah, I'll take ants all day.
I take roaches because roaches will hide. Ants, they're just mean with it. They're just out there, and there's so many of them, and they keep coming. I'd rather take roaches. I don't want none though.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
if I had to pick,
Perfect world, but also there's been like this like weird cricket like infestation, like where I've seen so many goddamn crickets whether I'm going to
at work, there's a lot of 'em.
Albertsons or
The little black crickets, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. They might be.
And it's because of the heat.
Oh, they like heat.
And I don't know.
I'm glad it's not raining too much because I hate mosquitoes. And
mosquitoes. Yeah, fuck mosquitoes, and they carry all kind of
I ain't have a
diseases.
bad mosquito year this year. Like I was big when I go fishing and stuff like that, but it's not as bad as past years.
Right. And see, so me and my girl, whenever like we've been out like going to a party or whatever, she gets bit up. And I don't have one fucking mosquito bite on me.
They like her scent, I guess.
Yeah, dude. And my theory is, it's like, oh, this man has too much alcohol.
In his system.
If we suck his blood, we're gonna die. So, like, that was my only theory. But the point is, it's like, yeah, some people got that sweet blood that mosquitoes crave.
Right.
But, yo, fuck all these insects. The only thing I want from them is to bring home and feed to my...
What do you feed them, crickets?
Yeah, they all get crickets, and I got mealworms.
Okay.
For the chameleon.
That's a big one, man.
Yeah, he got that crown going.
Is he friendly?
Chameleons, I didn't realize.
I heard they would die if you mess with them too much.
Well, they're very moody, you know. But my boy Greg, who you work with, he came over the other night and he took him out.
Oh.
And was like petting him and shit, and like he connected with him, and he was like, "Yo, like this dude, I feel like we're bonding right now and everything." Now, meanwhile, I don't know what his story is about it, but he was turning all kind of different colors and like
when he was holding him.
Yeah, like he had like black spots coming out, and like he was like.
I guess they felt his energy or something and liked it.
Yeah, it was some sort of weird like connection, and I was like, dude, when I take him out, I let him climb up here, and then he goes and sits on the top of my guitar,
just chills there,
and he just watches. He just watches over us,
yeah,
and like that's like his fun time, you know. But so you have cats or dogs?
I got 2 cats.
Okay.
All white. They brother and sister. We had them as kittens in the D Club.
Right. Okay.
If anybody wants to buy them, they are for sale. 'Cause, they're beautiful cats. I got them for my kids. Like I say, everything animal wise is for the kids, and they was happy with them when they first came, and now they don't even, cats be dying for attention.
That's usually the story. Is like, it's like. The kid wants a dog, or the kid wants a cat, and then you're like, oh, but all right, you're gonna have to take them for a walk, or you're gonna have to clean up their shit, or you're gonna have to do this, and then they all of a sudden like become uninterested.
I don't want it no more. Like you mother.
Yeah, like
that's animal. I mean, that's kids, and kids that like to win. They change like to win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
But you gotta love them though. They're our future.
Hopefully. I mean, God. What do you feel about? Okay, so not to get too political, because I think American politics is a fucking joke.
It is a joke.
But okay, so in my opinion, Trump was probably one of the worst presidents of my lifetime.
I liked him.
Really? All right.
I like Trump.
Explain.
I like Trump because he had no filter. Even though he says things he shouldn't have said, but we all thinking it probably. Somebody is. I know I was a lot of times, but he wasn't a politician. That's what I liked. And, he did what he thought was right. And most times it was, because there wasn't no wars while he was in office.
True.
No real threats. The economy was booming. I mean, not booming, but it was
better.
It was better. It's a lot of positive. The only thing people can really say about it is, he's a racist, or he's whatever. Like
I think what a lot of people hated about him was that, like you said, he was unfiltered.
Right.
And he did a lot of shit to like trigger people, like where he would make fun of like handicapped people.
Yeah, stuff like that. I don't agree with it. But you know what I'm saying? But we all heard it before.
Yeah.
If not, we're thinking it. It doesn't bother me that somebody is the jokes is a little dry or dark,
It just, the fact that Joe Biden is now running this shit.
And it sucks.
And he barely has a brain cell. And he has his son with all that fucked up shit where
nothing's happening to him, of course.
All this
no legal
Russian shit, yeah. Like,
if it'd been anybody else, they would have been under the jail.
So
or
none
doing
of
something.
None of it makes sense. And so I was in New York for the Trump Biden election, and I went down to where I was scheduled to go and vote and everything. They had a city block around the corner, and it was gonna be like probably like a 3-hour wait just for me to vote.
Right.
I took a look at that line, and I just walked back home. I was like, yo, like, I already know Biden's gonna win. They don't need my vote. Like, in New York, it was always gonna go
Democrat.
Yeah. So I was like, this is just a fucking waste of my time.
And I don't call myself a Republican or Democrat. I just want to go with the person who's going to do best for the economy, the future economy. You know, that's what you got to think about when you think about presidential. You know, even though they don't make the laws or whatever the case is, they are the head, and they make changes for the present and the future.
Right.
And if they don't do that, what's the point of having them?
You seen this motherfucker that pulled a fire alarm during like a meeting? So they were having like some sort of meeting in Congress, I guess. Don't fact check me on this, but basically this dude didn't like where like the conversation was going, so he like went and took a bathroom break or whatever, and just pulled the fire alarm to like break up the meeting. Like, to me, that kind of shit is wild that those people ever get in power. You know, like it's just like, who do you have to blow or fuck to get into that?
Generational, you know. It's don't be mad. I say there's a lot of white privilege.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
White privilege is a motherfucking and that's just what America is, and you know it's getting better, but it's still heavy like that.
Well, Mo, I told you I'm not white. I'm El Salvadorian. All right, I'm half El Salvadorian, so I don't have any fucking ties to any race. I think there are stupid people of all races.
Facts.
I mean, like,
facts.
What are your thoughts on Kanye West?
Kanye 2024. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But I like Kanye. He's like, I like people who speaks what's on their mind, even if it's right or wrong. Because without an opinion, you're just a sheep. You know, not saying that everybody needs to be a leader, or because if everybody's a leader, who's going to follow? Who they're going to lead? You know, so everybody can't be a boss. Everybody can't. It got to be workers, and I just feel like he's unfiltered and he's talented.
That's the whole point. I put his talent above whatever crazy shit he wants to say.
Right.
Like, dude, I love like probably 80% of his music is mint. Like,
right.
it's fucking great, but just stay in your lane.
Stay in the lane.
You know, like, if you want to talk. But also, I don't think he should be ostracized for what
he believes or thinks.
Or, yeah, his opinions. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You're a musician.
Right.
You know? Like,
right. People take that to the head. Oh, my gosh. He said this. Like, so what?
Yeah.
That's not changing your life.
Same with Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, I like Kyrie. I like Kyrie.
Yo,
I like him.
I bought those Kyrie Irvings.
Just because.
No, because they were like Pacer color shoes.
Okay.
You know?
He's not even with Nike no more, right? They dropped them.
Yeah, they dropped them.
Those are going to be worth money one day.
I'm saying. But I like the way they feel. Like, whenever I go ball.
Right.
I ball with those indoors, and then
Okay.
I have some outdoor shoes
Got you.
that I
Got
ball
you.
with. But it was like probably I got those like 2 or 3 months before he came out with all that anti-Semitic bullshit,
Right.
and I was like, damn, dude, like, what I'm gonna look like wearing these Kyrie Irvings, but most people don't fucking care, right?
No. No, because if they knew how Jordan was, they wouldn't like Jordan shoes either.
Yo,
Or wear
Jordan
Jordans.
and LeBron. Yo, LeBron has that whole shit going on in China where all his shoes are being manufactured in China, but then he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. Like, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's a profit thing. That's the only reason they do China,
Oh,
'cause
exactly. It's child labor. It's fucking it's disgusting.
it is.
But is that an iPhone?
This no.
Oh, okay.
Android.
So anybody that has an iPhone,
Supporting child labor.
you're supporting child labor, and it's like, but I fucking love my iPhones. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Right. Right.
So it's a moral conundrum.
Because we don't see it, so it doesn't affect it until it's in your face. It doesn't affect you.
Right.
Like a lot of people when racism was going on and slavery and stuff, like a lot of white people didn't have slaves and they were nice to black people, and so they didn't think it was that bad of a thing until they seen it in firsthand, and that's why stuff got changed, in my opinion.
Right.
I think.
Well, yeah, and also, how much can me and you actually change things? Like, if we were to just try, how much could we actually get done? Probably nothing.
Depends on what we're doing.
I mean,
And who we're trying to change. If we're trying to change the world, it's hard. But if we're trying to change the close people around us or our community, it could be done.
right. So, some of the people we work with, use the N-word. How do you feel about that as a black man?
I could care less. Even though I know the history behind it and stuff like that. I mean, it's more of a, if you're using it as an insult, and then it's a problem. But if you're just using it how everybody else is using it, how can you care if everybody throws it out so freely? If it was one of those words that, like when we was kids, we couldn't cuss.
Right.
If it was one of something like that, like you can't do it because it's not right.
It's just a bad word.
Yeah, and then it won't be like that. But they use it in music. They use it. I call my brothers, my friends, white or black, Chinese, Spanish, whatever. What up, my nigga? And how can I expect you not to end up picking it up throughout time? And like I said, if you're using it as nigger, or this black nigger, or fuck you niggers, that's a different story. From
and
what
you're
up,
like
my nigga?
pointing a finger.
Right. It's you could tell if it's met with bad intentions.
Right.
And to me wise, but some people got a problem with it, and I say you can't have a problem with it if you're saying it and the people next to you are saying it, and then your kids are saying it, and you get mad when a white person says it.
Right.
Like,
I mean, some of the best or some of my favorite songs
have that word. Most every rap song has it once or twice in there, unless you hear it on the radio version.
Right,
You're gonna hear the word, and it's all on how I guess you was raised too.
Right,
I was raised in so many different places. I've seen so many different places.
But like growing up, two of my best friends were black, and they would call me the N-word. They'd be like,
yeah, because it was it's meta like, what's up, dude?
Yeah. It was more like a term of endearment, like,
right,
my nigga here over here, like right. It would just be like a passing phrase.
Right.
It wasn't
exactly.
like
It wasn't something like
you
exactly.
know.
Exactly.
But with like this soft culture we have now, where everything's like
So pussy
bubble
now.
wrapped.
So pussy. I mean, like it's so shit is pussy to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like how we grew up in the '90s and the early late '80s and '90s and early thousands. It was uncut. It was raw. You know, like what you say, what you mean, what you mean, what you say. Now you can't say words without getting canceled and whatever they do, cancel culture, whatever that shit is. I don't understand it because, you know, like if you don't like gay people, you don't like gay people. If you love gay people, you love gay people. What's the big deal? How these you could say something like a joke and you got the whole community of gay people canceling you. Like I don't understand. Like
yeah. The LGBTQ
A B C D E F G.
LX whatever it is. Like okay, so this was one of my jokes that I used to do, but now I can't do it in Lafayette. But in New York, I could get away with it.
Right.
But I had a joke where it was like, man, I miss the word gay. Like calling something gay. You know?
Gay really means happy.
Right.
In the dictionary,
True.
you know, like
And fag means cigarette
right.
in London.
Exactly.
You
So
know?
like people use, oh my god, you called me gay. Are you not gay?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like what's the big deal? Like, you know, like
My thing would be like, okay, so me and my boy Larry, who's black, who would call me the N word in an endearing way.
say it for the people.
He'd be like, nigga, you running that same play over and over again, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know, and then, but then, if, like, I was beating him in Madden or whatever, like, he would go turn off the
I hate
PlayStation. I would be
shit.
like, man, that's gay, dog. Come on.
I
like,
hate people who do that
and
shit.
so
Like sore loser shit.
it wasn't in the context of homosexuality. It was like okay, if I had an ice cream cone and like I went to go like take a bite of it and it like fell on the ground, I'd be like, that's gay. Like you know, like but it wasn't like that's homosexual. Like you know, it was just like that's some gay shit.
Right.
But then there's people that are like, that's a trigger word.
Right. Nothing really bothers me.
Yeah,
because you know life is too short to worry about shit like that. To me, in my opinion, like you know, you stressing over somebody saying you're gay. If you're gay, you're gay. If you're not, what's the problem?
Right.
If you are gay, what's the problem? If you know, like it's a word. You know, like being gay or whatever like that, you gotta expect some controversy and hate towards you because it's not what people are used to. You know, quote unquote. You know, even though it's been around forever.
Right.
But you know, like. The animal instinct is to mate.
Right.
So you know people look at that like, oh my gosh, you're gay, so you can't have kids and you're not supposed to have a kid and
or you're going against God.
Go against the God. You know like. Let them person deal with that when it's time for them to die, and if they meet God, let God handle that. You know, like who cares? You know, like if it ain't affecting your life or some stuff on TV that I don't like because it's influencing the kids, and the kids are easily influenced. That's the stuff I don't agree on. But the adult shit, who gives a fuck? You know.
What do you think about like okay, so like TV shows, and I don't watch most of these kind of TV shows, but like where they have to have an Asian, a black, a white, and a Hispanic just to make shit work, like just to make things like, or like even commercials.
That's how it is. Let me see. It's what people want to see,
and it seems fraudulent.
It seems fraudulent because it's fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of times black people hang with a lot of black people, white people hang with a lot of white people, Chinese hang with a lot of Chinese. That's just what they grew up around and what they're used to, because they have the similar interests, you know. But then at the same time, there's a lot of people, black and white people, who have similar interests, and that's how we become friends. You know, but if we didn't have similar interests, we wouldn't be friends. Oh, not saying, you know, like that, but we wouldn't be on a friend level that's not. I mean, that's intimate. You know, like
Right. Like, but just forcing it for the sake of we have to meet this quota of, like, we have to make sure that every race is represented in this commercial for fucking Viagra or name
that's
any.
because that's a selling point too, though.
Yeah.
They're letting you know, oh, Chinese, black, white, everybody could use this pill and do what needs to be done. You know, like what I don't like, I'm not gonna say I don't like. Like the commercials where it's a black or white woman or a black and white guy, and they're doing the
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
like I understand it happens, but before I came to Louisiana, I didn't see white people
Right.
because I grew up in the inner city and there was only Spanish and black people.
Right.
You know, but I seen white people like when I go to Manhattan, but I didn't like talk to white people
Right.
unless it was at a store. And when I came down here, it was like, wow, white people talk to us. And I didn't have a racial experience until like Texas in Baytown.
Okay.
So I was just thinking, oh man, white people ain't bad as people seem. You know, like, cause growing up where, you hear is white people, they will hang you. When I was moving down south, all my friends was like, man, they're gonna kill you down there. They're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. I'm like, man, I've been down there before the visit. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. And then I start thinking it, like, damn, what about now I'm living here. I'm gonna experience. I ain't experienced it until I was in Baytown, Texas. But maybe because I'm light skinned.
Yeah. I mean, you're darker than
because
me, obviously.
I came down here, I'm Dominican and black. My dad's black. My mom is Dominican, full Dominican. I grew up speaking Spanish, all that good shit. So I came down here, it's a lot of black and white relationships that make people that look like my color.
Right.
And I'm thinking they're Spanish in some kind of way until I started, oh, that's a black mom or a white dad or white mom. And I was like, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
It was new to me. That was new to me.
So, okay, my favorite team, can you guess?
What, the Denver Broncos?
So the Packers have a brand new quarterback. His name is Jordan Love. His mom is a fat white woman.
And a black dad.
And his dad was a dark black police officer, and he was killed when Jordan Love was like 10. So he looks light skinned, So what's the difference between, like, whenever, like, what is the stigma whenever you see, like, black people trying to say, like, oh, he light skinned? Like, is that a stigma?
That light skin, dark skin shit came from house nigga, field nigga, and then I said we're still all niggas, in that day, we're still all slaves, so I don't understand why they try to, you light skinned, so you was a house nigga. Like, what the fuck? I'm still a fucking slave, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe I was fucking a white lady, but
that
good on you.
Exactly. So like I grew up because I'm light skinned. I had a lot of darker friends or darker than me, so I was like I stood out a lot of places I went. Like not because I'm in a bad way or anything. It's just more girls like me. But dudes was more envy of me.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird growing up light skinned, and people wanna thank you pussy, thank you a pushover, So I hated. At one time, my brother's dark, not dark, but he's darker than me, and I used to grow up like I want to be your color. Because I was getting picked on being light skinned at some point. At points of time in my life, like people, like I got in fights because I'm light skinned. You know, a lot of the times because the girls probably like me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not saying I'm a pretty boy or nothing like that, but you know, I'm a good looking
You're a
guy.
good looking guy.
You know, and growing up, girls liked me. You know, and I guess some people couldn't handle it. You know, I don't know. You know, like, you know, so
There's definitely like some jealousy factor.
that's
Like,
it's definitely that. You know, because the commercials, the black people back in when we was growing up were light skinned blacks. It was never really no dark skinned blacks. So they never showed love to the dark skins until
Samuel L. Jackson.
social media really. You know, social media made everybody want to be dark. You know, so
Right.
or natural or whatever they call it. You know.
So in middle school or high school, your scene, like what kind of fashion were you into? Like what kind of cliques did you have? Were you in any like weird clubs that I wouldn't expect? Like were you into athletics or anything?
Well,
Like
growing up, I was really good in football until I started smoking weed.
what position?
I was a quarterback, and I was a running back, and I was a linebacker.
What would you say your 4.4 or your 40 time is right now? If we had to go and
I'm
run.
still not slow, but I'm not in shape either though. So I wouldn't even know, probably 6 seconds, some shit like that. It ain't a 4. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I ain't even going to lie to the people like, oh, yeah, I'm still a 4.4 or 4.7. Nah, hell no. I'm like a 6'1", maybe, 6'5".
And
I'm
how
not
old
slow.
are you?
I'm 33.
33, so, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, dude, 33 is, like, ancient in the NFL. You
Right.
know? It's like, oh, man, this dude's, like, falling off. And then I'm 38, and so I'll be like, damn, like, some of these dudes that are like 23, 24, they look way older than me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how old do you think I look?
My age.
Like 33, right?
Early 30s, late 20s.
Yeah. So,
and I look, yes. And I mean, considering people think I'm still in my mid-20s, early 20s, you know, I don't feel it, but, you know, I can see why people think that.
yeah, the whole point is, it's like, you could say, like, you're the age that you feel, you know?
Right.
And that's something I've heard a lot, but it's like, you know, in a couple years, I'm going to have to go get my colonoscopy checked, you know? And it's going to be like, you know, oh,
you ready for that?
I'm old as fuck.
Tube getting stuck up your ass with a camera?
Yeah. I mean, hey, colon cancer is like one of the number one killers.
Yeah,
so,
you gotta
like,
do it if you want to protect yourself. I guess, you know, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I don't look forward to doing it, but I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna just, you know, have a couple beers and yeah. So we're gonna take a short break and we'll be right back. And we're back with the Jesse LaSala Show. My guest tonight is Maurice Williams, the homie from work, the new guy. How is it adjusting to a new job? Like, do you instantly get vibes from people?
I do. I actually like this job though. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I like the environment. You know, it's I guess you could say easy going, not high maintenance environment. I love that.
Yeah, it's a very laid back. 90% of the people that work there are fucking chill. But like I said earlier, there's a high turnover rate because some people aren't down for the assignment. You know what I'm saying? And like when I came in last night, my homie told me like you had worked the whole shift by yourself.
No, half the shift.
Half the shift by
Half the
yourself.
shift.
but you had everything fucking like done.
That's
Like
what I do.
everything. I, I was like, wait. Why are all these dishes clean? Why?
That's what I
Why
do.
is all the dishwater like lit? Like, why is everything like?
I do what I expect done.
Right.
Like I don't want to leave nobody hanging. Or coming to my mess. You could say. Like even though it's work, sometimes it gets busy and all that, but I try to help the team. Like
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. If it runs smooth, we all run smooth.
Right. Yeah, and it helps when people have experience, and lately we've been hiring people who don't have much
It's dumb
experience.
fucks.
And they're nice and you want to like them, but at the same time you can tell them the same thing 10 times in a row
They don't
and
understand.
they still just don't get it.
Facts.
And I had my shortcomings. Like every once in a while I'll fuck something up and I'll just be like, oh fuck.
Facts.
I forgot to lock up the other night the porch shit.
Or the chairs and everything.
Yeah. But I woke up at 7 in the morning and I jolted out of bed and I was like, oh shit, I forgot that I have the key. So I walked back over there and I put the key somewhere so that, whoever was opening wasn't going to be like trying to call me because I would be dead asleep. But the whole point is like teamwork makes the dream work, that bullshit phrase or whatever. But it's more like knowing who you're working with, knowing what your job duties are. And you told me, like, yo, I don't really like working bar back.
I don't.
And same here. I'm a very bad bar back. Like, I'm a much better cook than I am a bar back. So it's tough because, having that laid back job is much better than working at some place where it's real buttoned up and you have to like be expected to do a lot more, and maybe it's a little bit better pay, but you don't get to have as much fun. I mean, you got to see a pair of titties the other night. That was on accident, though.
Oh, very much accident. I wasn't expecting that, but shout out.
But that's the kind of environment where it's just like,
it's a bar, so you're gonna have fun. I guess you can say.
Yeah.
You're gonna have fun. You gotta have fun.
All right, let's get into some news. Let me get your thoughts on some of these things. There's a new Florida law allowing the death penalty for adults who rape children under 12. My question is, why is it only under 12?
What for? What?
For raping a child. Like, what made them say, but if it's 13, it's fine. But, like, under 12 is death penalty? Like, what? Like,
You know what? I thought that's weird. Why is it? I mean,
like,
is
why
this around
set
the
it?
whole United States, or it's like, or this?
That's in Florida.
Oh,
So, I mean,
Florida's
everything's out
dumb.
the fucking window for that. But just to set it at a certain age. I mean, and here's the other weird part.
This 12 is like, are they trying to make that you're an adult now or something?
Here's the whole point, is that every state has
That's weird.
an age of consent.
What is Louisiana? 17, right? I thought it was 17.
I think it's 17. But like Hawaii, it's like 14.
14?
And like Delaware, it's like like you can look it all up. It should be
Consent,
something all
like
across the board.
You can't get charged with underage type sex and shit like
Right,
that.
right.
That's weird.
But
That's very
the
weird.
death penalty, dude. If
That's
you're
very, very
fucking a
weird.
12-year-old, you gotta die, dude. I'm sorry, or at least get castrated or life in jail forever, like something.
Now that I got kids,
Dude,
I pay
could you
attention a lot to
imagine?
that. I pay attention a lot. You got to be careful who you lend your kids to, family, friends, or just random people, or just even the people in school, daycare providers, whatever. You just gotta have an extra eye now.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. They got some
it's
fucking
sad that
creeps out
you
there.
know, and it was like that since forever. But growing up in the '90s, I'm glad I didn't go through any of that. It's just it was still out there. It was still happening. It just wasn't broadcasted because social media brings
Exactly,
attention to almost everybody now.
exactly. And I think that when I put on that show the other night, Love Line, and
Okay, yeah,
all
yeah,
those callers
yeah.
calling, dude, there's a fucking pattern. Like, it's not like just random that some 35-year-old is gonna fuck a 12-year-old. It's because he was fucked with when he was probably like in his younger ages.
I still don't understand that. Like people who did get messed with as a child, like what makes you want to mess with a child?
It scrambles their brain. It makes them turn into.
Did you ever fuck somebody younger than you? When you was under 17? What's the youngest you ever went?
The youngest, I would say I was 21 and she was 18.
That's not bad.
So it was still a little like, like she was a high school senior.
That's not bad. 18,
But she was 18.
After you're 17, they're considered legal. After I made 18, I kept it my age or higher. It wasn't really lower too much. But when I was about 16, I messed with a 14-year-old before.
Yeah, but
It feels weird now me saying it, but when back then it was just like, it's just 2 years difference.
yeah, and she's mature for her age.
And she was out
or
there
whatever.
doing
Yeah,
mature things, and but like I tried. I never been a fan of people younger than me when it comes to sex and stuff like that. It's my personal preference.
Yeah, it's just, and plus we're living in the South where that shit is very prevalent. I'm sure it happens all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Not even just in the United States. Like,
yeah, they fuck kids across. Other countries like they married them out and all kind of. That's weird to me.
you ever watch that show? What is it like? It's like they basically pay for a woman to come and be their
Husband,
wife.
Yeah, my friend. I ain't gonna say his name. 'Cause I don't want to get caught up or nothing like that. But
John Johnson.
He's from out here, from New Iberia area. He lives in Houston now, but he's married to like a some girl from Africa. I don't know what part, but
30 Day Fiance. That's what I was thinking.
well, he got married. She paid him so she could become a citizen. And
exactly.
and they do house checks and everything. So they kind of like I don't know. This was a couple years ago. I think they're like past that now, but he took the money. He did it.
Yeah.
I say, hey, you're helping somebody. I guess.
So I was living in New York. This is before, or right around the time that I met my fiance, and I was working with some Serbian dude, and he was basically just like paying me to go take pictures of the food of the restaurants that he owned. Right. So like he wanted me to be his social media manager. So it was easy ass money. All I had to do was just like show up, go into the restaurant, take a few nice shots with my fucking iPhone 9 or whatever it was back then, and then post it to the social media. Then he calls me into his office one day and he's like, all right, my receptionist, her visa's running out.
Oh, so he asked you
Will you marry her? And then so
how
she
much
can
would they
become
how much would they offer?
9K.
Why 9K? Why not something like usually like a even number like 10?
I would have liked more, and
So you did it?
I did it, but then
Oh, so you did do it. So you're married.
here's the thing. Here's the hook. So at that time, then me and my girl were starting to get serious.
Okay.
And, at that point, she was like, just get that money. I was trying to get my PlayStation 4 at the time, like this is before the 5s were even out. And I was like, yeah, man, like I could really use that money. But like then they were talking about like, like people are gonna come check on y'all, and y'all need to like have like dates set up, and
Yeah.
you need to know
Yeah.
like the inner workings of her
Yeah.
apartment, like where's her fridge, like
Yeah.
they ask all these kind of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And she started like freaking and like posting shit on Facebook like, I can't wait to get out of here, da da da. Like she was like, she basically fucked up the whole program. So then I went to the dude and I was like, cash me out right now. I'm out. Like this bitch is gonna
Did he
end
pay you?
up getting me in jail. He paid me $6.
Shit, and you ain't had to legally get married?
We got legally married, and then we got legally divorced a week later.
Did she stay? Was she able to stay?
Exported. So that was like my wildest New York story, where I was like, first year in, I moved up there basically just to like fucking have an experience, and like whatever
Was she
happened
pretty?
happened. Not really.
Not really.
I mean, she,
That's crazy. You were the second person I know that did that, and you got paid at least for a week. I mean, $6,000. That's not bad.
it's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
But it was still like, my boss was very upset with me.
Right.
Like, he was like, I can't believe you went against me, blah, blah, blah. I was like, bro, your girl's acting crazy. Like, she's posting all this shit on Facebook. Like, that's not going to look good. I'm not trying to go to jail for
Right.
$1,000.
Right.
Like, that's like some real fucking bullshit.
Right.
Like,
Right.
So, and that was what, 7 years ago. So statute of limitations.
It's for something like that.
I'm
Probably
good.
over. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I've already been married and divorced within 1 week.
Right,
But it was crazy. Like we had to like go to the courthouse and like get it all done, and I had to like kiss her in front of somebody.
take a picture and all that stuff like that.
We did like wedding photos and everything. Like we tried to make it look legit, but then she was like,
She spooked out.
she was wilding out, and I was like, dude, I don't trust this bitch. Like she's gonna end up getting me
Right.
fucked over.
Right. And your life would change.
Yeah, dude. And I was like, and I was just meeting the girl of my dreams,
Right.
and my girl
Oh,
was
that's
like
sweet.
cool with it.
Well,
But
shit. I
also
mean,
not-
I call it a win. You got $6,000 for a week. That's a win.
Yeah,
That's better than drug dealers.
it's not a bad way to go, unless I get a fucking flag for this,
You would have knew already. You would have found out.
Redacted.
You would have found out. You went to go get a new license since then, or ID?
Oh yeah, I already
Yeah,
have
you
a
would've-
Louisiana license. My
you
New York
good.
license is expired as fuck.
You good?
All right, so Prada, are you familiar with the clothing brand?
Mm-hmm.
They will now be designing the spacesuits for NASA's upcoming moon mission.
It's gonna be skinny style.
So it's planned for 2025, and it's gonna have one female crew member.
Hmm.
How important is it to look fashionable on the moon
Not
to where
important at
Prada
all.
has to get involved?
I wouldn't call that important at all, personally.
Like, I want my shit to just work. Like, I don't want to look. I don't want to flex on the moon.
Exactly.
So as long as
Like,
everything's
is it like
working
is it
right,
gonna have like what's it? I don't. Why would they pick Prada?
dude, the Nazis had a fucking, what was it? I don't know. They had like some like top notch design company that was making all their outfits. Because I mean, say what you will about the Nazis, but they look clean as fuck. When they were doing their little marches and shit, like they looked mint. Like everything was all like stitched. Like everybody looked clean.
Right. To the T.
But that company, I can't remember the name of it, but
Is it still out now?
they're still doing their shit.
Oh.
So
Oh wow.
I don't know about that. A 5-year-old Kansas girl was raped and murdered after her mom kicked her out of the house. This was in Topeka, Kansas. And she was found at a gas station with life-threatening injuries. And just look at this dude's face. Describe what this white dude looks like.
Backyard trailer park dude.
Yeah.
That's I hate shit like that, man.
So, like, how bad was his girl behaving for her mom to be like, you're kicked out. Also, you're 5 years old. Like, can't you just go, like, lock her in her bedroom or some shit? Like, you have to kick her out of the house and then she fucking gets raped and killed?
Shit like that
That's how I know there's no God.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I wouldn't say that.
So, okay. I'm not disputing you here. I'm just asking you.
I know God
if there
in
was
my life, God was he helped me through some situations, and I believe him because of what he did for me, not because of what people told me. You know, I know it's a higher power. Whether we call him God, whether he's a man, woman, or just the air,
an entity.
But I just know it's some kind of higher power. You know, it got to be.
I mean, God, I hope so. Like, fuck. Stories like that, that's what makes me think.
And another thing, I'd rather believe there's a higher power than to die and didn't believe and figure out there was.
So are you scared of not believing and then going to hell?
No.
Like,
it's more of a
do you go to church often?
No. I used to. You know, I was kind of forced, I guess you could say, but nah, I don't. Because a lot of shit is a lot of shit is lame to me.
Well, also, a lot of it is freak accidents. It's like just circumstantial incidents.
Yeah.
But whenever you hear about something like that, it's like, what God would let that happen?
Maybe he was taking the little girl home back home, home, like to heaven or whatever, because it's so rough here. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Like,
I can't really explain it. I don't want to explain it because, you know, some things is meant to be unknown, in my opinion. You know, like, it's just bad shit happens. And, you know, just pray or whatever you do to hope for better things, that it doesn't happen that it doesn't happen to you or people you're close to. That's all you could do.
So when you pray, what is your mindset? Like, what is do you have like a go-to like mantra or some sort of like do you have a traditional prayer that you say, or is it just like
I was always taught when you pray, you talk to God how you would talk to anybody else, and you first you give him praise for this giving you life and breath, and also you give him praise for this having you healthy and family healthy, and then you ask, even though you're not supposed to ask, you ask for things and hope things get better in your life or your situation. And it was a time that I didn't pray until I always got in trouble, or
right?
I needed some help from an unnatural force of help. You know what I'm saying? So I'm guilty of being that person who don't pray until they need help. But now it's I teach my kids to pray, and even if even if there is nothing out there, it still feels good to talk to somebody that doesn't really. I want to never do the priest thing, like that priest confessional thing. I don't understand. That's
Yeah.
bullshit to me. Like
Kneeling on some
yeah,
fucking
like
bench.
you're giving this priest too much power, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because he is not God, and
he's molesting kids
yeah,
on the side.
exactly. Like, why is that a thing?
Dude, because they can't have wives. So they got to do something. Like, but I would much rather
Kids though.
I would much rather a priest go against the church and have a side hoe
Yeah, than do kids.
than fucking perform oral sex on a child or
Makes no sense
worse.
to me. I don't understand like how that became a thing. Like priests and kids.
And the
It's
worst
weird.
part is when they get caught,
The congregation.
they just move them to a different place.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're in St. Louis? All right, now we're moving you to fucking New England.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You get a fresh start.
It's,
Like,
it's,
what?
it's not right, and I don't agree with any part of that.
Yeah.
But I'm not Catholic either, though.
Okay, so you're Christian.
I am a believer.
Okay.
I just want to say it like that because some things of Christian I don't really like either, but I just know there's a higher power. In my heart, I just know it's a higher power.
I used to play in a church band
Okay.
for a Christian church.
Okay.
And I would play the organ. And so they would be sitting there, and the pastor was fucking cool as hell. And he talked about how in his early life he would roll up blunts. And like he was real as fuck with everybody.
That's what you got. Yeah, that's what you should be.
Yeah.
I mean, because it'll be. But some pastors, they come from a church, so they don't do. They grew up not doing it. They grew up just doing a church thing, and that's cool and all that. But I want somebody I could relate to.
Right.
In my opinion, and it's hard to find that. Cause a lot of people they get holy, and
Yeah. It gets a little icky.
Yeah, it's weird.
So this was an all black church.
Okay.
I mean, they were probably like maybe like
How you end up there?
because one of my boys played guitar.
Oh, so he invited
And
you.
he was like, yo, we need a keyboard player.
Okay.
And
Still want those lessons for my kids too. So.
oh yeah, I got you. But the whole point was there were some times where I'd be playing, and what he was saying would make tears come out of my eyes. Uncontrollably.
That's the higher power. That's the divine, whatever they call it. It's just that's something touching you that is higher than you.
Yeah,
That's
like
what I've been through that too.
Felt it in the pit of my chest.
Goosebumps and all kind of things.
Yeah, dude.
Like that's the higher power, and that's whatever he was saying was truthful at that time.
Right.
That's how I.
And I was playing while I was crying. But
yeah.
I wasn't crying like
You was just you was
it was just like tears were just running down my face.
a joyful cry,
Yeah.
a peaceful cry. Like I know exactly what I know is that was the Holy Spirit touching you.
Yeah.
And what he was saying, you needed to hear that for your situation in your life.
Right. And it just came out of nowhere because I'm a cynical motherfucker. I'm agnostic at best.
Right.
Like I don't believe in any religion. I wish I did because I would much rather
Well, from your experience you just had, you don't have any kind of faith or belief.
I just feel like
Where do you think it came
it's
from then?
I feel like it's too good to be true, and I don't want to get my hopes up.
See,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And people confuse God, Christ, with always being peaceful and happy. They wasn't. If you read the Bible, they was about war. They was about if you did wrong, F you basically.
Right.
And they don't teach that in the church. They only teach the happiness part.
Right.
They don't teach God will say fuck you, and you're not invited. You know what I'm saying? Like people think, oh, everybody, if you believe it, you're going to heaven. That's not necessarily true if you go by the Bible.
I just recently heard the story of Job.
Okay.
Do you know
I know
anything about that?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, there was some sort of like, he was neglected, but he stayed faithful. I mean, like this is like the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, I
but
got
it was
you.
like basically he was rewarded in the end
for being
like
faithful.
yeah,
being a soldier of God, basically.
Right. So, but it was told to me by an ex-football player, and this is how he broke it down. He was like, yeah, God like fucked him over, and he stayed faithful.
He made him suffer to see if he was
gonna. He took all his hoes away. You know, he made him like do all this bullshit. But then, when God realized that he was down for him, he gave him all his hoes back and more, and gave him money and everything. Like,
there's a lot of stories like that in the Bible, like Saul. Well, they call him. He changed his name to Paul after he had the touch from God. But his story is similar to that. It's a lot of like people say, "Oh, the Bible is man written." Of course, it is.
Well, there's two versions, right? Which version are you siding with, or is it just a mix of the two? Like, there's the New Testament, or
I go by both of them because you can't have the new without the old.
Right.
And I read the Quran. I'm not gonna say I'm just some holier than thou person, nothing like that, because I'm not. I like the history of it, and just by the history, I believe it. And then some of the stories just don't make sense.
Right.
Because obviously we had dinosaurs on the earth. Dinosaurs aren't really mentioned in the Bible, and a lot of people go, "Oh, how can the Bible be real if they don't mention the earth?" Blah blah blah. Like, I don't know.
And then there's the whole other side of the story where, okay, there's evolution, and
I don't think we came from monkeys. Because why is there still monkeys?
I don't believe it either, but
why is there still monkeys then?
Exactly. But there's something called the stoned ape theory, where, and again, this is woo woo wah wah. I don't necessarily believe in it, but it's just something to think about.
Right.
So we had apes, and aliens came down and gave us mushrooms, and mushrooms totally changed.
Like mushrooms, or like
psychedelic mushrooms. Okay. And all of a sudden they started figuring out how to use tools and how to
Another thing, I believe in aliens because some of the architect they still can't redo now. Like the pyramids, how straight and point and angle they was. How the hell can they do that back then, but they can't even do it now?
Right.
Stuff like that.
We'll never know.
It could be God doing it. That gave them that light to build it or whatever like that. But
think about how heavy those fucking bricks were.
How did they get them up there?
How did they make them so perfect?
Exactly. Like that's the unknown, where you would get a million theories and nobody knows because nobody was living then.
Yeah.
Nobody has the mind then, so.
I think it's all in play. But that's the whole point is it's scary not to know.
Right.
And so, like, if I had a clear answer and I knew for sure, I would feel much better about how my life was going, you know? But, like, the fact that there's so much unknown and there's so much speculation and differing, like, we haven't even touched on the Jews. Like,
We might have to have a part 2 on this. I like this podcast, man. Like this is it's cool. You know, it's cool.
the whole point is none of us know shit. We like to think we do. And whatever gets you through the day, God bless. Because, I mean, I had someone on my podcast the other day, and I deal with, like, anxiety. I think we all do.
Understandable.
To different degrees.
Understandable.
But he told me something that kind of clicked, where it was like, and it was a quote from, remember that football movie where Jamie Foxx was the quarterback?
Something Sunday.
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday, yeah.
With Al Pacino and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
So there was like a speech in there where he's like, these 6 inches, that's all you got to think about right now. So it's like, just win these 6 seconds. Like, every 6 seconds, just win it. And it's like, it sounds very cliche, and it sounds like very simplistic, but if you think about it, like, in the grander scheme of things, yeah, you're having a shitty time, something shitty just happened to you, you're not feeling your best, but if you can just get past these 6 seconds, and then the next 6 seconds, and the next 6 seconds, like, it's just, it's one of those things where everybody has a coping mechanism, and everybody's going to do it their own way. But as long as you can figure it out, and you don't fucking kill somebody, like, just fucking hold it together, and we'll be all right.
Be all right. All
right, Maurice, thank you so much for being on the show.
This will not be my last time.
Oh no, we'll be back, and next time you'll be able to meet my lovely lady.
Yes, and I'll bring my lady, and
we'll do a whole podcast, and we'll figure some shit out.
That'd be dope. Well, thank you for the love, audience, and y'all stay safe, stay aware of your surroundings, and just love life.
And until next time, don't die.